Good morning and happy Saturday. Today we are headed out to Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex because they invited us out to experience the Taste of Space, which sounds really interesting. It's a food and art festival where we get to try some different food, as long as it's very rainy today, so there's maybe not as much food as originally planned because I think it was all food trucks. But also we get to see some art from NASA's private collection. We should be able to see some pieces by Andy Warhol, Annie Leibovitz, like really big name artists. And I'm excited to see that. And plus we love the Kennedy Space Center. Super fun to go there. If you guys are here on vacation, definitely go and check it out. One of my favorite places to go. So let's head on out and go to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. So here we are at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. They told me that the majority of the stuff inside is over at the Atlantis building, but they also told me that there is a lot of new stuff and things that have been remodeled and different exhibits that have been added. So I'm excited to see all kinds of new stuff today. It sounds like it's changed kind of a lot since the last time we've been here. I do know that the front entrance to get into the parking lot changed. Totally on a different road now. Exciting. All right, let's go inside and see what we can get into. Before we even go in, there's already an exhibit out here. It's called Take the First Step. It's a collaboration between Georgia Tech and the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Basically, each one of these little sensors here actually produces energy every time that you step on it. And once you produce enough energy, there's a simulated rocket launch. Where's it at? I gotta see this. Oh, there's more of them. There's a whole nother... Okay, we gotta find the rest of the exhibit inside. That ought to be interesting. This is just like a preview of the exhibit. There it is right there, a simulated rocket launch. Let's go see what we can find inside. Kennedy Space Center really is amazing. We're just walking right into a rocket garden. We've actually been here quite a few times. We've done lunch with an astronaut. We've done the astronaut training experience, and we'll put links to those videos in the description down below. A lot of super fun things here to do. So I'm gonna head back to Atlantis right now because I do wanna see all of the Taste of Space stuff first off, but I do wanna really stop by this Heroes and Legends Hall of Fame on the way out because this is an amazing exhibit. Here are those sensors. We gotta step on them all to try to get the rocket to launch. Is there more of them? I hope there's more. There's the astronaut training experience. Definitely done that before and it was super fun. So wait, as I'm stepping on here, getting these things to light up, is it changing? Oh yeah, look, you can see Earth up there moving around. We're building up power. I don't understand why we don't make the roads out of these things. These things are kind of brilliant. Still, one of my favorite fun facts about NASA is that this logo is called the meatball. It looks like a giant meatball. There it is. The sign I've been looking for. Taste of Space, a collection of art and food. We're looking for Atlantis, and I can see there is a gigantic external fuel tank and 2 solid rocket boosters. So I'm assuming we're heading in the right direction. This is an interesting little graphic here. This kind of shows what different NASA exploration vehicles have explored which areas of our solar system. So we've got Magellan going to Venus, Galileo going to the moon, Mars Global Surveyor Orbiter going to Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, everything. But so here's my issue. Neptune and Uranus are from a 1977 with Voyager 2. We need to send some stuff back out there. The newest thing that we've got is Mercury, which was explored by Messenger in 2004. We need to start sending some more stuff. Oh, here we go. We sent something to the sun in 2010. We're gonna send more stuff out to these other planets. There it is, the Spatial Atlantis building. It really is impressive to see how big the solid rocket boosters and the external fuel tank are. Completely massive. And this building with the Spatial Atlantis in it has one of the best reveals I've ever seen anywhere in the world. Here's another sign. All of the art is inside, but the food is off to the left. It's supposed to be food trucks out there. We're gonna check over there a little bit later to see what kind of food trucks they have. Oh, you can purchase space bucks here. I wonder what that buys you. Probably food, but I like the idea of space bucks. Ah, okay, yeah, there definitely is food trucks over there, and they are open. So after we go through and check out the art exhibit, we will head out and try some of the food trucks. Before you head in, they have beer and wine available out here for purchase, and they've got a few local beers too from the Florida Beer Company. But it should be noted, no food or drinks inside of the Atlantis exhibit. As soon as we walked in, they have a sensory sensitivity advisory board here. You got weighting, noise, crowds, and body awareness for the Atlantis exhibit. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I came in behind Hubble here. Normally you come in with a big reveal to Atlantis. Still a very impressive look, but Also really impressed how large Hubble is. I had no idea Hubble was this big. Normally you're on the other side of this door here and it opens up with a reveal of Atlantis. And we'll put some videos in the description down below so you guys can see what that reveal looks like, because it really is impressive. I don't know if they're just not doing it right now because of the art exhibit or if they're not doing it at the moment. I made it about halfway down the space shuttle. Just wanted to show it to you guys again so you guys could see just how incredibly massive this space shuttle is. And I guess I should reiterate that it's not the actual, this isn't the space shuttle. The space shuttle is the entire assembly of the orbiter, which is what this is, the solid rocket boosters and the external fuel tank. So this is just the orbiter. But everybody knows it as a space shuttle, so we just call it the space shuttle. Over here by the bathrooms, like the normal Earth bathrooms, they have a space toilet. There it is, space toilet. It's got little like levers right here. You can flip those over your legs so it holds you down while you're using the space toilet. And then the blue tube is, well that's, so you see, it's a vacuum that, well you know you, also this hole up here, that's where you keep the bags that you attach to the underside of this seat and, you know, stuff happens. You use the toilet. I don't know if this is part of the Taste of Space event, but this is the first bit of art that I've seen. These are just different artists' renditions of people building or working on space shuttles. One of the best things at Kennedy Space Center is this gigantic slide. I wonder if I can do it today. I have an umbrella with me. I gotta take my shoes off too. Oh, we did it. Here we go. We're gonna land like the space shuttle. Whoa! Woo! Wow, that was pretty fun and very fast. That was exciting. If you guys only come and do one thing, definitely see Forever Remembered. I mean, also see Atlantis, which we are underneath right now. But also Forever Remembered is amazing. It has pieces of both Columbia and Challenger, which are the two space shuttles that were lost in service. Found a little bit more art. This is awesome. This is by James Cunningham. It's called the Infinity Tower. It looks like a rocket plume. And look at this one too. Past, Present, and Future by Jenny Klibb. Whoa, this one is awesome. Night Launch Reflections, 1983 by Nixon Galloway. That is really neat. There's another one. Florida Coast Fire Pillar. This is by James Cunningham again. There's a photograph by Annie Leibowitz. Admittedly, it is a little bit hard to find the art in this event. Dry Brush Watercolor. This is John Glenn by Henry Casilli. But just to give you an idea, there's no just art out and about. You have to kind of look for the various displays around the outside of the area here. So like there it is, that's the Annie Leibovitz right there. And then this is the Andy Warhol right here. This is a silk screen done in 1987. Wow, this is really impressive. And it's neat that it's here. Like it's neat that NASA has this Andy Warhol painting. Or silkscreen. Always one of my favorite things to see at NASA or at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex is this Airstream. It's called the Astro van. This is what the astronauts would travel to the launch pad in. I kind of want an Airstream after seeing this thing. Of course, the one that I would want would have more than just like chairs in it. It would be an RV. I always like every NASA thing there is has a silly name, sort of. Like we talked about the meatball earlier. This is called a pumpkin suit because of its color. This is a pressurized advanced crew escape suit that they wore during takeoff and landing. And I think one of the most interesting things about it is that it is the same color as the Golden Gate Bridge. We've seen the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't remember it being this bright. We can come back into this, so let's head outside right now and see if it stopped raining and maybe get some food from the food trucks, because it is lunchtime. Now we're back out front. It is still raining a little bit, but we're gonna head over here to the left, see what kind of food we can find. Looks like we got a tamale one, a gelato one, Lee's famous cheesesteak and wings. Ooh, this all sounds delicious. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. Caramel and sea salt and chocolate Nutella both sound so delicious. Oh, they're gluten-free. You can get some tamales at the tamale place here. What do they have over here? At Lee's famous cheesesteak and wings. I'm assuming cheesesteak and wings. Let's see here, we've got an original cheesesteak. Famous chicken cheesesteak. Ooh, sticky wings. Oh, Not Your Mama's Pancakes. This sounds so delicious. Bacon cheddar poppers. Ooh, might have to try that one. We got Cruisin' Cuisine. Roasted beef meatballs, fried pork egg rolls, buffalo chicken empanadas. Ooh, all of this sounds so good. The first food item that I'm trying is the bacon and cheddar balls? Pancakes? This is from Not Your Mama's Pancakes. These look so darn delicious. Here we go. I'm just gonna like dive right into it here. Wow. That is so good. Oh, it's a little bit spicy. I feel like there's some jalapeno in there too. Wow. It's kind of like if you took almost a little bit fluffier pancake batter, almost like maybe waffle batter, and put bacon in it and then did some sort of like cheddar cheese jalapeno sauce on the top. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. So the way that they're doing the food trucks is a little bit different. You can't just go up to the food trucks and give them your money. You're going to give them space bucks. And the way that it works is space bucks are $7 a piece, or if you get the VIP package, which is $35 for just the VIP package, which includes 2 space bucks and the ability to use this little VIP seating area, which is actually fantastic for today because it's raining today, and this is one of the only covered spots, and this is one of the only spots that has seats and tables, so that's a good deal. Plus you also get unlimited Tang, tea, water, and I think sodas. Or for $45, you can get 2 free space bucks, admission into this VIP section, and 2 free alcoholic beverages. Whereas normally you would just pay cash or card for the alcoholic beverages. Those you don't have to use space bucks for. Space bucks are just for the food trucks. So let's go use another space buck and get something else from the food trucks. Also, it's very exciting that they have Tang, because that is famously known as the drink that all the astronauts had to drink because it came in powdered form and then they would mix it with water. So whenever all the astronauts were up in space, they drank Tang. Plus, water and sodas, unlimited, if you do the VIP $35 or $45 entry. All these prices are in addition to your entry into the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. The next thing that I got was from Lee's Famous Cheesesteaks. This seems like a much better deal for my $7 space buck. I don't know, we'll see. What if those 2 bacon cheddar poppers were way better than this? We'll find out. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but we're gonna try it. Really hard to do with one hand, but that is delicious. Very good. Well worth my 1 space buck. I think it's time for some gelato. Let's do some chocolate. Ooh, peanut butter cup. Oh my goodness gracious, that's what I want. All right, there it is. There's my peanut butter cup gelato. This looks awesome. I cannot wait to try this. All right, here we go. That's really good. Super peanut buttery too. Wow. I want to eat this all the time. So good. It's like very like extra peanutty. You know what I mean? Like, so you know how peanut butter is very like sweet. Peanut butter has a peanut butter taste. This one tastes like peanut butter with extra peanuts in it. Like fresh peanut butter. When you buy a VIP wristband, you also get one of these Taste of Space pins. That's something that I like that Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex does, is they have a pin for almost every occasion. Now that I've experienced the Taste of Space event here, I wanted to give you guys a few tips and pointers on how to do it. So the first thing that you want to do is come up to the Atlantis building and go up to the table that is off to the right there next to that orange wall. That's where you can buy space bucks or your VIP lanyard. Then once you have your space bucks, you can go out to the food trucks and use those space bucks to get food, and each food item is just 1 space buck. So no matter how big it is or how small it is, it's $7. Ooh, it just started raining harder. Another thing you should pick up at this table next to the orange wall is a program, and that'll tell you where all of the art is inside of the Atlantis building. And now that it's actually raining harder, and I have a program, I'm gonna go inside and find some of the art that I missed the last time. This is by Linda Marie Draper. This is oil on masonite. And then this is an acrylic painting by Howard Coslow. And this is right next to where Hubble is. Right there. This isn't the actual Hubble telescope. It is a reproduction of the Hubble Space Telescope. But there is a little video that happens right here. There is live art happening here. This is artist Derek Gore's who is creating a mixed medium piece that's going to be revealed at the next Taste of Space event that happens in November. So November 8th, you'll get to see the final product if you come out here to the next Taste of Space event. It's pretty interesting. He uses fashion magazines and maps and some other stuff to create art. I found it. I found the last art display. This is by Howard Siskowitz, and it's done using mixed media. And there's a twin piece over here. Or no, it's not a twin piece, it's a different one. This is Discovery number 3, and this one's Paradox. Ooh, really like this one. Proposed color scheme for Shuttlecraft inaugural launch by Clayton Pond. I love that. How cool would that be if that's what the space shuttle looked like? Then we've got more Howard Siskowitz over here. These are really neat. It's like a, what do you call that? I know that if you have 3 pieces of art together, it's a triptych, but what is it when you have 4 pieces of art together? Now it's time to hop on a bus tour and head over to the Apollo Center. They told me they have some new stuff over there too. This is exciting. I feel like I'm visiting for the very first time. We're on the bus on our way to the Apollo Saturn V Center. This is actually where we watched our last rocket launch from. I'll put a link to that video in the description down below. We saw Bill Nye that day following a bald eagle. There's a bald eagle nest in the tree over there too.
100,000 pounds of thrust, enough to lift 10 buses.
He's like racing us. Oh, he's turning around now. All right, here we are at the Apollo Center. We just have to wait for these doors to open so we can watch a quick show. And then we'll go into the main building. We've made it into a replica of the firing room. It's actually not even a replica because these are the actual machines from Apollo 8.
The Apollo missions. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon.
But this isn't where it was located. And this is a reproduction of what happened for Apollo 8. We got 3 minutes until launch. And then once you exit that little presentation, this is where you see one of the most amazing things at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. This is a Saturn V rocket that you can walk all down and see exactly how large one of these was. So this is what all of the Apollo missions were flown on. And it's just laying here on its side. This is the, I believe, the largest rocket ever built, or one of the largest rockets ever built. You get to look inside one of the crew capsules from all of the Apollo missions. Pretty darn tiny inside of there. And I think this has been gutted. There's no chairs in there at the moment. Here's another kind of a better look at the size of this rocket. It's real big. This is pretty interesting. This is a lunar module access hatch. So when the astronauts were in the rocket and they were launching up to the moon, they would be in a crew capsule and then they would go into the lunar module to go down to the moon. And this was the size of the hole that they had to go through. So just to give you guys a perspective, I don't know, there's my hand. It's probably not much wider than my shoulders. Wow. That's a tight squeeze. And once you made it through that hatch, this is where you went into. This is a lunar module. And 2 people would be in here. It's another tight squeeze. For the 50th anniversary of the Apollo missions, they have a replica of the lunar lander. And then they have a couple of astronauts out here putting up the flag, gathering some moon rocks, leaving a whole bunch of footprints everywhere. That's it right there. That's the ladder that Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong would have climbed down and landed on the moon. Would have jumped off of it to land in that spot right there. Those were the very first steps onto the lunar surface. Right there. So the other interesting part is that this part that's covered in gold is actually still up on the moon right now. The part that's on top here shot back up and rendezvoused with the crew capsule. So I just talked to this gentleman right here and he blew my mind. So you guys can see the crew capsule up there, that little like triangle shaped piece. And underneath that is, in this kind of silvery section, is that very first rocket that we saw when we first came in that we looked into and I said there's no seats in it, right? And then this is a lunar lander that was supposed to be on Apollo 15 that they didn't actually use, but this was built to go into space. And I talked to him and he said if this had been in space it wouldn't be here because it stays up in space. And so this triangle part and this silver part detach, move away from it, spin around 180 degrees, and then reattach to the lunar lander, which is inside of this white section here. Kind of ridiculous, and that allows the crew that is inside of the triangle section to transfer into the lunar module. Ridiculous. Blows my mind that they were able to do that in 1969. It seems excessive, doesn't it? Another thing that I definitely think that you should visit is this Apollo 1 exhibit. So these 3 astronauts lost their lives on the launch pad due to a fire that started inside of the cockpit. All of the oxygen burned up within 12 seconds. And then they have some memorabilia from the 3 astronauts. And then make sure you stick around and watch, because right behind these screens is an actual piece of the Apollo 1 rocket. It tells you 57 seconds to the reveal. So this is the Block 2 hatch, which can be opened in 5 seconds. Just to give you an idea, here's 5 seconds until the reveal of the original Apollo 1 hatch. So this is it. This is the Apollo 1 hatch, and how it was too complicated for them to get open in enough time. Three different hatches. And here's an idea of how tight it was inside of the crew capsule with all of the seats in it and 3 astronauts. I'm inside of a room called the Treasures Gallery right now, which has a lot of really interesting NASA artifacts in it. But this is the Apollo 14 capsule. There's another look at how tight it is, or how tight it was inside of these capsules. You can see all 3 seats right next to each other. You can also see how burnt up it is from re-entry back into the atmosphere. Here's a spacesuit worn by Alan Shepard on Apollo 14. He actually used it to do an extravehicular walk on the moon. Look at that. There's all kinds of like moon dirt all over it. It's pretty interesting. This is Roger Chafee's personal watch, and you can see the time has stopped at exactly 9 o'clock and 56 seconds. I wonder if that has anything to do with the time that the Apollo 1 fire was, because Roger Chafee was one of the astronauts that died in the Apollo 1 fire. There's a NASA Spaceman made out of Lego. Is this like a 2-sided thing here? Or if I go to the other side, it'll be something different? Maybe? I can't really tell. It's kind of hard because, oh yeah, it's like a little spaceman. You guys can probably see it better than I can. So the last time that we were here, we watched Falcon Heavy from over there, which the launch pads are kind of across the way over here. But this is all new. The Moon Tree Garden. Never seen this before. The trees representing a crewed Apollo mission are descendants of the original moon trees grown with seeds astronaut Stuart Rosa carried to the moon on Apollo 14. So these trees over here are descendants of the ones that were seeds that they took up on Apollo 14. I like this. There's a statue out here of Michael Collins, Neil Armstrong, and Buzz Aldrin. What are they looking at? Oh, their launch pad. It's behind those trees over there. So if a rocket goes up, they'll be looking right at it, watching the next rocket be launched. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, if you look kind of right next to this first aid station, there's their launch pad over there. Wow, that's pretty neat. Bet you'd be a pretty neat shot to watch a rocket launch from behind this statue. I don't think you'd have the best view, but you'd have a pretty neat photo. All right, I think it's time to hop on the bus and head back over towards our car. This Alan Bean painting looks an awful lot like the astronaut that's at Spaceship Earth that's kicking the caveman in the head. Now, I know that I said I wanted to come back and do the Hall of Fame and Heroes and Legends before we leave, but I missed my chance. We just don't have enough time before the whole place closes. So I think we're all done here at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. So there you have it. That was our trip out to Kennedy Space Center for the Taste of Space event. It was fun. I like Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. I think it's really neat, and I like seeing rocket launches, and I like space. So this is like a trip out here for me. Plus it had delicious food. So don't mind if I do. There will be another event next month, and we'll put a link to a website in the description down below so you guys can plan a little bit better if you're coming next month, what to expect, and hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you are not coming during one of the Taste of Space events, I still do highly recommend Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. I talked to so many people that say, I didn't think I would be as interested as I was, and I really enjoyed Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. There's so much history here, and so much technology, and it's just amazing the stuff that they've done here as far as space travel goes. So thank you again to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex for having us out, and with that being said, we are off, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
My name's Alexander.
And my name is Darren, and now it's time to pay the price.